Before we get off here, I want to share some resources with you. And he already told you one. This is preparing to blend. Again, this is something we wish we'd have had.
Mm-hmm.
Let's put in the camera. There we
Yep.
go. So if you're a family that you're fixing to get married and you know that you're going to be in a blended family situation, we would highly recommend this book. This guy, Ron Deal, he works with Family Life. Family Life is a marriage conference we went to where we learned about him. And so that's one. And he's
the blended family director.
Yeah, he's the blended family guy.
Family Life blended.
And then we've read this book recently, The Smart Step Family, which told us a whole lot about the things we should have done that we didn't do, but now we know. And this is the Smart Stepdad
That's the book I threw away before we got married. I was like, I don't need that. I know how to be a dad.
Yeah.
Never been a dad, but I know how to be a dad.
Yeah. And then he wished he'd read it.
Yeah, I wish I'd read it.
And then if you're a stepmom, there's a stepmom book, but I didn't need that. And this is what I really like. Yes. Building love together in blended families. Gary Chapman wrote this. If you've ever heard of the 5 love languages, this is the guy that did that. So in this book, they have the 5 love languages, the little quiz in the back. And so we did that with our youngest son. And if we'd have had this book, you know, years ago, we could have done it with them. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And so those are just some resources, and you can go get if you want to, just to kind of help you out. And you know, this video is more of just here are some things that I've struggled with. And so, do you want to show him that board? He got this.
Yeah, I got something. I don't know how good this is going to look, but I drew something on a whiteboard. It's my scribble, so forgive me. And I'll try to explain this. So what I got here is, and I learned this from Ron Deal's books, and we got this house. So in the household, that's us. So we got me and Lori, then our 3 boys, then our oldest boy is number 1, number 1. He has a wife and 2 grandbabies. And then over here, we have the biological father, and then his wife, which is the stepmom, and then they have their own 2 kids. And over here on the other side, we have my ex, which is she's not in the picture. It's not a negative or it's not a positive. She's just not part of this dynamic. So this external force has no relevance on us. But over here, you see to where this force over here, it's kind of off to the side, but it still interacts with this right here. We still had to do the custody and the different weekends and sharing responsibilities, holidays and all that stuff. So and you're going to have some good times and bad times and some struggles and some victories and some hard times and good times, and you just got to keep working on it. And it really makes it tough when these relationships are strained. And then up at the top, you got your grandparents. So they have like three different sets of grandparents. Some may have 2, 4, 6, 8 sets of grandparents.
Yeah.
And then you have
step family of step family of step family.
Yeah. We don't have kids of our own, so if we did, we'd have another section over here. So we'd have our own kids and all dynamics. Now this dynamic is an easy one. In that book with Ron Deal said there's 67 different combinations like this, and I've seen some of it they're like crazy. You can't read it because there's so many different variables. But anyway, this is just something. And look at this, and the blended family is a tough life, and it's not something that you say, you know what, I want to get married and divorced and get married again and divorced and married again, and I want to have 3 ex-wives and 3 sets of kids from all 3 wives and 6 sets of grandparents, and I want to marry somebody that's got 2 sets of kids and 2 sets of grandparents. Nobody thinks like that. But sometimes
that's much harder than staying with your spouse and working it out.
Yeah, it is much harder.
I mean, unless you're in an abusive situation or something extreme like that.
Yeah,
it's much better, biblical, and easier to just stick with your spouse and work things out, because once you get into, you're dealing with trauma, you're dealing with just a multiple, just like he was showing you, just complicated issues and dynamics, and it can get really, really hairy.
But I actually took a course through Family Life Blended that Ron Deal put on. It was the Blended Family Ministries course. and it was an extensive course, and I got a certificate and whatever. Now, hey, all right, but they were talking about how churches have a hard time dealing with families that are divorced, and we had a one of the preachers that was in that panel, and that sorry about that.
I think our cat
Technical difficulties.
got a hold of the camera.
Technical difficulties there. But anyways, when I was doing that training, one of the pastors in that group decided to break down divorce and remarriage, and basically, look, you don't want to get divorced. We don't want to get divorced. Nobody comes into marriage saying, let's. And if I don't like this, well, I'll just get. Well, some people do, but you shouldn't. And we both agonized. I agonized over my marriage, and she agonized over hers, and we just, in the end, we couldn't reconcile it. And the part of the training I learned was that sometimes in those situations, you can't reconcile your marriage, and you go past you seek forgiveness for that, and you get forgiveness. You get forgiven for the situation you had yourself in, the divorce. And then once you feel that God's forgiven for you for that, you get married again, and God's going to recognize that remarriage as a real marriage. So you just got to accept this is a real marriage. When I married her after our divorces, it was a real marriage, and God has blessed our marriage, and we truly believe that our marriage has been blessed by God, and this is a covenant. Mm-hmm. And so, and that's a starting point. And then you can start your family and your parenting and your marriage and everything with that assumption, with that knowledge that your remarriage is a covenant made by God, and God blessed that marriage. Oh, so you got anything else?
I don't think so.
Okay, great. So thank you for watching this video, and please give us a thumbs up. And if you have not, subscribe. And if you have any questions, please give us some questions and comments. We'd like to hear what you got to say. If you got any biological mother or biological father,
or just other topics that you want us to talk
situations, about. Yeah. Next week we're going to talk about the gospel of Jesus Christ, the good news, the euangelion, from Genesis chapter 3. I took a challenge. I challenged myself. I can teach the gospel from Genesis chapter 3. So next week we're going to teach the gospel from Genesis chapter 3, where the first married couple got it wrong. Jesus got it right. Mm-hmm. So thank you, and God bless.